Looks like the runners have a new race room and they're about to ready up here. So we should be getting started pretty soon.
All right, folks, before we begin our race, just a reminder that this is the all for any percent tournament. And what we mean by any percent is Super Mario Bros. 1, any percent is the rule. Super Mario Bros. 2J, or the lost levels, they only need to go through to 8-4, so no World 9, no letter worlds. In Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Mario Bros. USA, it's also any percent. And Super Mario Bros. 3, any percent, no wrong warps.
Yeah, and they're also going to be playing in the order that LOZ just said. So Mario 1, and then Lost Levels, and then 2 US, and then Mario 3 will be the last game. Looks like they're just talking in the race time room right now.
All right, folks, we are now underway between Ben42 and Dayphid. Here we go with Super Mario Brothers 1. You know the any percent well, and we are going to go down the pipe. Let's take a look at the times as they approach the flagpole. It's going to be 364 for Ben and 364 for Dayphid, so they are pretty much level pegging after 1-1. Both the players picking up the Fire Flower here in 1-2, no problem at all. Dayphid definitely much cleaner through that Goomba section. Again, this is any percent, so both of these players will be warping to World 4.
So we're going to be seeing a little bit of a complicated trick that we're going to be seeing in 4-2 where the players scroll the screen really far, and it will allow Mario to go down a pipe that leads to a warp zone, which is not the intended destination. We'll see what exactly that is when we get to 4-2.
Yeah, you're definitely more familiar with seeing it in the NES version of this game, but evidently it applies to the Super Nintendo version as well. No problem at all. Both players moving on to 4-2 with their fire suit intact.
So we see the players scrolling Mario really far on the right side of the screen. And they will go down the pipe, and it will lead them to the warp zone.
Absolutely perfect for both of our players.
Beautiful execution from both. Ooh, Dayphid getting hit there. 8-1.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take there for David. So this could give an opening for Ben42 to perhaps take the lead.
Yeah, remember in World 8 there are no checkpoints, so no matter where you die, you will have to start back at the beginning of the level.
Yep, that is absolutely correct. So David has to be very careful. Of course, 8-1 has those very precarious jumps. In fact, they're both approaching that same set of double long jumps. I think it's tripped up everybody when they were a kid, but no problem at all for either of these runners. David playing it nice and easy, but Ben42 and David pretty much neck and neck. But Ben did gain some time on David. It's 192 on the clock versus 187.
Ben's going to be able to make us some time in 8-2 with his Fire Flower. Going to help him get by some Koopa Troopas at the end of the level and other things as well.
Well, that was a close call there from David. Yeah. Ben doing a really good job keeping that fire suit intact, and he is through 8-2 at 329, but David has just lost his power-up, so he's back to small Mario, but nevertheless, he does get through 8-2, but Ben42 will further extend that lead on David.
Oh, Ben almost getting hit by a hammer bro there.
Yeah, that was a really good jump right there by Ben. David now trying to get this power, getting through these Hammer Brothers, no problem. But Ben further extending that lead as David does collect his mushroom. 2:39 on the clock for Ben. Oh, and David can't get the Hammer Brother down, so he will not have the fire suit going into 8-4. So Ben continuing to extend that lead on David.
Yeah, 8-3 is really tricky with these Hammer Bros if you're not Fire Mario, so it's always best to have Fire Flower for 8-3.
Oh no, and David shorted the jump on that final staircase, and Ben42 is going to take a commanding lead here in this race, provided that he gets through 8-4, no problem.
And he gets the Troll Bill as well in 8-3. It's going to send him by just a little bit more behind. Ben's about to finish up Mario 1.
Now in All-Stars, you can see that Piranha Plant come out of that pipe. You can't see that plant in the NES version.
Whoa, Dayphid dancing with the Hammer Bro there.
And Ben42 completes.
Up
yes.
Mario 1.
Very nicely done there for Ben, so he'll be moving on to the Lost Levels, aka SMB2J. Boy, way to go there by David, going in between the hammers there. That was a nifty move right there, Mars.
Yeah, very beautiful execution there. Now he's going to be heading into 8-4.
All right, with the Lost Levels, of course, just like in Super Mario Bros. 1, we're going to be warping to World 4, but there is no warp zone in World 4. The runners are going to have to play through the entirety of World 4, and the warp to World 8 is in 5-2. 5-1 actually has a warp to World 6. That's not the one that these runners are going to want to take.
Yeah, and Dayphid ended up dying in 8-4 once, but he can play 8-4 again, so let's just hope that everything's nice to him and that he can make it through. With the wall jump there, too.
Now, an interesting fact about this pipe that Ben just took. Normally, if you take a death around that point, you go back to the checkpoint. But dying in this area actually sends you back to the start of the level.
Yeah, no checkpoint in this room, unfortunately.
Ben gets through it no problem, so he'll be moving on to World 4. David, meanwhile, just starting 1-1.
Only a couple levels behind for Dayphid, but I bet he can definitely make up that time loss in future games from this speedrun.
Yeah, there's plenty more where that came from. There's still Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3 to deal with, and there's a lot of things that could shift the tides in favor or against any of these runners. Ben picking up his Fire Flower in 4-1. David completing 4-1 here, or 1-1, excuse me. Beg your pardon. Oh, but Ben losing that fire suit, so
Ooh.
now he's in a vulnerable state, so this could give David an opportunity.
Ben's gonna have to re-grab Mushroom and Fire Flower. Ooh, he's forgoing the Mushroom in the beginning of 4-2, which is a very interesting strategy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he can pick up a Mushroom in 4-3 and 4-4, but yeah, it is definitely an interesting strategy, especially when you have these Hammer Brothers to deal with, but very nice maneuvering, and he's through 4-2, no problem.
Maybe it was because there's a lot of bullet bills around that Mushroom, and he didn't want to entirely risk a life for trying to get that Mushroom and potentially taking a death.
It's definitely a dangerous zone. I mean, D3 comes to mind when you think of hammer or bullet bills and trying to get a power up. I mean, that is just littered with bullet bills.
Oh yeah, D3 has killed a lot of very good speedruns in lost levels, specifically. So it's like Ben has re-grabbed the Mushroom in 4-3. A little bit of a safe threat there. Very smart decision since those bullet bills really don't know where they could be, so finishes up 4-3 as Dayphid is going to enter 4-2, about a 2-level gap right now.
Now, in spite of the fact that there's a 6 ending on the timer for Ben, he will not get fireworks like you would in Super Mario Bros. 1. That's because the way of getting fireworks in lost levels is different. I believe in this game, it's whatever your coin value is in multiples of 11, including 00.
Ooh, Ben scaring me a little bit there. And he does get hit by the Troll Hammer Bro in 4-4.
Speaking of trolls, that fireball coming up gets a good fireball there. That fireball has killed a lot of lost levels runs there in 4-4, but Ben got a good pattern there, so he's moving on to World 5. Meanwhile, here's David in 4-3. Taking the top route here. Getting through the bullet bills and those 2 difficult jumps, no problem. Also with 3:46 left on the clock, he'll be moving on to 4-4.
An interesting thing that I have not seen much is that in lost levels, if you turn around and jump at the flagpole, you can actually position Mario to land. Ooh, and Ben takes death there in 5-1.
And unfortunately, he's going back to start. He did not make it to the checkpoint there, so that's going to give David a little bit of an opportunity to gain some ground.
Yeah, most certainly. And so yeah, if you grab the flagpole while you're facing the left, you will actually position Mario to land on the flag on the right side, which saves a small fraction of...
Oh, and he dies in the same spot again! And now they're pretty much tied!
Wow. So yeah, Dayphid caught right back up from the unfortunate events from R1, and now they're in the same level right now. Very tight race again.
Yeah, if Ben takes a 3rd death right there, David's going to take the lead. So all of a sudden, this became a race.
Yeah, that part is very tricky that Ben's at right now because you can get screwed by either of the piranha plants. So definitely not a
And David getting through that clean right there. They both made it to the checkpoint. Now, this vine's the one that would take you to World 6, but again, that's not what these runners want. They're going to build this little path here with a couple of coins. You can actually do it quickly if you time the jump just right on those paratroopas, but it's a very risky strat.
Let's see if the players choose to pick up the power-ups. There are 3 power-ups, I think, in 5-2, but we might only see them go for 2 of those power-ups.
Now, just out of curiosity,
Mars, small only.
Interesting move, but we'll see how this plays out. Now, I'm just curious about one thing. Could these runners play as Luigi, or must they play as Mario?
You can play as either Mario or Luigi. Most players prefer to play as Mario since he's easier to control, but yeah, you have the option to choose either Mario or Luigi.
Oh, and David falling right into the pit there, losing his fire suit in the process. Thankfully, that is a checkpoint, so he doesn't lose too much time.
Yeah, now he's going to get this fine, which is very hard as small Mario, but he gets it.
Ben does pick up his mushroom here in 8-1, but David's still very much in this race. Anything can still happen here in World 8.
Yeah, I think David's very strong at 2U and 3, so maybe he might be able to make up a little bit of time over Ben in those games if the lead is he might even take the lead if the gap is this small.
Oh, Ben just had enough iframes left to get past that hammer. That was a close call. That would have given David the lead.
Wow. World 8 again, still no checkpoints in this game. Very unfortunate, but
nice.
Wow, right through there.
That's the second time he has gotten through a couple of hammers like that. Amazing.
He is the king of going in between hammers.
All right, 8-2, where we have to find the hidden vine that will take us to the end of the level. And Ben does get it on the first try, so he'll continue to maintain his lead. David gets it 2.
Nice double bounce there.
Absolutely. So David keeping pace here with Ben here, and 8-3 is no walk in the park, especially with the opening Jugum Cloud and a bunch of these Hammer Bros.
Hammer Bros act a little bit differently in Lost Levels in Mario 1, and they're actually in a level like this as Small Mario where there's not a lot of area around the Hammer Bros. It's actually pretty easy to get over them, so and not much of an issue in this game in relation to Mario 1, but been having a little bit of trouble getting up to the end of 8-3 there.
Yeah, in Lost Levels, you actually have to build those blocks. I know in the original Famicom version, you can see where those bricks are against the castle background. David did gain a little ground.
Had a little bit of trouble going there.
Here we go, 8-4. Four does have 2 power-ups to offer. One just past this pipe. We'll see if Ben goes for it. He does not. David taking it slow.
Dayphid might go for the power-ups.
Yep, we'll take a look.
He seems to be in favor of Fire Mario.
Oh, he ain't taking it either.
Maybe they don't know where it is since it's kind of hidden. They probably wouldn't think to look there.
And the second power-up is above this pipe here after this very precarious Troopa jump. Ben gets through it, and he will take this power-up. David will not, so that's going to save him. So
this is Bowser's brother named Bruce, and
yep.
Ben going right through his hammers.
Tecate would be proud of that reference.
And we're almost tied going into the third game.
Well, David still has to get through Bowser, which he does. Very nicely done. So yeah, David making up a lot of time on Ben going into Super Mario Brothers USA or Super Mario 2.
I do know that Ben has held the Peach-only world record in the past. I think he got on his birthday a couple of years ago, so I can definitely see why he's going to use Peach for this level. And he seems to use Peach a lot, as Dayphid is going to go for the clip in 1-1.
And to me, it makes sense. If you're the most comfortable with a character, why not play as it in a tournament setting? David going to be as Mario. Of course, each of the 4 characters has their pros and cons. Peach having the ability to float, but she is the slowest to dig and grab items. Oh, Ben, very nicely done.
Ooh, yeah, nice. So Dayphid went for a clip in 1-1 to clip through the floor and spawn just outside the cavern, which can save about 8 seconds, but he missed it.
Oh, and David too early. Absolutely. Does get it on the second try, so Birdo fight down for Ben.
Duck jump. Yep. So the way you would gain or lose time in most circumstances, with some exceptions, depending on what Birdo will shoot out of her mouth, there is egg cycles that are around 4 seconds long, and those are pretty much how you'd gain or lose time in most of the levels in this game.
Ben playing as Luigi in 1-2, definitely a solid choice to get past the tall cliff that you normally have to get a key and go through an underground section. And of course, to get the key, you have to get it from the Phanto, which is what Dayphid is doing right now. Now, it kind of makes me wonder why I did not know this. He's using, I did not know this technique. It's definitely a solid technique for sure. I never knew about using the key against Birdo. How about that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can use that. Since it can kind of bounce on the ground, it can put more hits on Birdo instead of waiting for his eggs. So a little bit of a time save there. And what we're going to be seeing here from Ben and Dayphid here shortly is they're going to warp to World 4, but they are going to save and quit back out to the main menu. And then, since you unlock World 4, you also have access to Worlds 3 and 2. So they're going to warp to World 3, and that's going to take them to a warp to World 5. And from there, they will warp to World 7 in 5-3.
Absolutely.
Saves time.
It's something you definitely can't do in the NES version, but we do allow it here in this tournament. Ben gets through, does not fall to the end of that waterfall. And there you go, warp to World 5. And people in chat talking about how creepy... People in chat are talking about how creepy Phanto is. Let me tell you something. I still think he's creepy to this day.
Phanto, not a friendly-looking dude, chasing you around with his creepy smile.
Absolutely. So here we go. Ben being Peach in World 5. David, though, opting to be Luigi.
So we're going to be seeing a green Birdo at the end of this level, and green Birdo does not shoot any eggs, so you have to use this mushroom block to kill him.
Ben making quick work of that Birdo. Let's see if David can do the same. Ooh, David having some problems here. Guest. Oh, can't get that last hit, and now Ben has an opportunity to further that lead. Oh, and David missing again. There's 2 hits. David just trying to take it easy to get that third and final hit on Birdo, and does. Ben here in 5-2. Trying to get through this vine.
You see Ben jumping off of the vine there, which is a 3-frame trick as Princess, as well as Mario and Toad, but with Luigi it's 8 frames or so. It's not very easy at all.
All right, so Ben does get through. Now the red Birdo fight, which spits a combination of eggs and fireballs.
Uh-oh, Ben having a little bit of a troublesome fight here. 5-2 Birdo is known for being the hardest Birdo in the game.
Now, for several reasons. One, you've got that trout that keeps jumping in and out of the lake, and two, that little gap that takes you to your watery death.
So now we're going to be seeing Ben warp to World 7 to finish off Mario 2 USA.
All right, let's see how David does in the red Birdo fight. He's down to small Luigi.
Almost
There's
got killed
two.
there.
Oh, the double knockout! Oh, just clipped a piece of that fireball. You hate to see it, folks.
A nice double hit there from Dayphid, though.
And that was a really good second attempt Birdo fight there. Well played, but Ben is going to further extend that lead again. I'll tell you what, this has been a roller coaster race so far between the two. Ben got off to that big lead. David brought it back to even, but Ben having a little bit of a struggle here at this part of 7-1, but does manage to get by. Oh, just gets clipped by the... Yeah, just got clipped by the bullet there by Sniffit.
Yeah, those are very annoying.
There's 2 hits.
So what you saw Ben do there is he picked up the mushroom block as Birdo was about to hit him, or about to hit the princess with the projectile. So the reason why he survived was because if you're picking up an object, as something goes through you, you kind of are prone to getting hit by that. Well, maybe not prone, but like you're not likely to get hit by that at all. So
right, you have like a little bit of invulnerability. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's the trick here, and Ben getting it on the first try. Could be very tricky to do that skip. It saves a bunch of time, and as you can see, the key is already out of Birdo. Don't have to fight it. Just pick it up, go through the door, and carry on. Very nicely done there by Ben.
Nice job avoiding Phanto. Dayphid is going to choose Toad, which is the ideal character for 7-2. Like I said, Ben did hold the world record for Princess only, so he chooses Princess for a lot of them.
Yep, he's the fastest character, has the shortest jump, but he can dig very, very quickly. David took him a few tries, but he does manage to get the skip also. Now here comes Wart. 6 vegetables to take him down, and sometimes RNG can dictate. You saw that first vegetable. There was nothing Ben could do about that one.
Yeah, 6 vegetables it takes to kill Wart off. I got to throw them into his mouth while his mouth is open, and Dayphid is about to enter the Wart fight himself.
Ben missing on that one. He's trying to do the forward technique instead of the behind the back technique. It is faster to go forward like that, but riskier. You got to time it just right. Ben is starting to get on a groove now. Oh, David missing on his first shot there. Now Ben going with the behind the back on his 4th hit. Oh, Ben getting cornered there, so he's going to have to be careful. Oh, and he misses there.
Ooh, pretty scary situation here.
Yeah, if Ben can't do it, this is going to give David a chance to take the lead.
An interesting strat that you can find with the princess is that you can actually jump over Wart and behind him and throw the vegetables from behind Wart, which makes the fight a lot easier.
Absolutely, and Ben does just that. Down goes Wart, so he'll be moving on to the final game, Super Mario Bros. 3. David, I think, just has a hit or two left to go on Wart. Very nicely done there, getting it very quickly. I think one more ought to do it. There it is. Very nice anticipation. I think David might have gained a little bit of time on Ben, but here we go with Super Mario 3.
Ooh, looks like Dayphid is also on the US version. I didn't notice that until now. And that loses a slight amount of time, but maybe not enough to kill a tournament win.
Yeah, I think the Japanese version's faster because, like in most instances, the text is faster.
Yeah, there's a few little minor things that make it faster. But not a big lead for Ben going into Mario 3. Hand luck could play a role in who wins this race.
Absolutely. That is, by the way, one thing that did factor into his PB, his 36-31 that he just got. He actually did manage to get 3 hands. So if you take a minute off, easily could get a 35-2X with his abilities. So, I mean, there's plenty of time to be had on his PB. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, Ben falling to the fire piranha. And now David takes the lead. Just like that.
Yeah. I don't know if the players are watching each other at all, if they have the restream open or not.
Absolutely. I mean, given that this is a vanilla game and not a randomizer, the racers are allowed to have the restream open to know where their opponent is sitting. So Ben must now know he's behind if he's watching. So David here in 1-3 going to crouch here on this white block to pick up the warp whistle. First of 2. There are 3 in the game, but we're only going to see the first 2. The last one is at the end of World 2. Even though David does have the lead, it's still anybody's game because, as you had mentioned, hand luck could come into play in World 8, and you can definitely give World 8 the Great Equalizer moniker in this game as well.
Yeah, you never want to say who is going to win until the whole race is over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you don't get the fire kill on Bowser, and your opponent has the fire opportunity, that can swing over a race. There is a ton of things here, Mars, in Super Mario Bros. 3 that can turn a race around.
Yeah, I think SMB3 is actually the most RNG-heavy game of these 4 here. There's a lot of RNG factors like Hammer Bros on the overworld map, and like we mentioned, hands and stuff like that can lose a lot of time just simply out of the player's control.
And when you see that the players are going to warp twice on the warp zone screen, the first one takes you to 2, 3, or 4. But anytime you use the whistle in what's considered warp 9, it automatically takes it to World 8. So we're in the first of the 4 military branch stages, the Army, or some people call it tanks. People who are familiar with the randomizer notices that the auto-scrollers like this stage are turned off, but this is the vanilla game, so these runners are going to have to slug their way through it.
This very boring auto-scroller that no one likes. It's about 2 minutes long, a little less than that.
And in my opinion, probably the second most difficult auto-scroller of the 4. I still hold that I think Air Force is the most difficult one without the proper resources.
Yeah, that moves really fast. That can easily trip people up. Also, speaking of which, we can also, if everyone in chat wants to get their guess in on how many hands that the players are going to get, we'll see who is right and who is wrong.
Yeah, that's a definitely good game we like to play with the chat, is how many hands the runners are going to get. So do we usually make a guess on how many each runner gets or how many cumulative hands?
Well, I mean, I guess you could do either one. I tend to do both the runners. So I could say, like, I'll say 1 for Ben and 2 for Dayphid. Going in here.
You know what? I'm going to say 5 hands between the 2. I think Ben will get the 2 to make this a ball game again.
So maybe 1 for one player and 4 for the other.
2 for what? You can't have 1 and 4. Oh, I suppose you could have 4 hands if you take a death. I never really thought of that. So
Yeah, maybe.
you make a very good point. That is possible. So both runners now on the Navy stage.
Looks like Dayphid got the fire flower there at the beginning of the Navy. A very difficult fire flower that Ben did not seem to go for. And that's going to play, that's going to be in favor of Dayphid actually, since using a fire flower on Boom Boom, which is the boss that we're going to be seeing for the next few auto-scrollers, it saves 4 seconds over stomping on him. So it's going to help Dayphid out here.
I'm thinking Ben must have weighed the pros and cons of going after that particular question mark. Because as you did mention, getting to that block, very, very difficult. Some people may think it's just not worth it because it's just too easy to get hit in that very confined space.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're going to enter the hands room for Dayphid, and very shortly for Ben here. We'll see how many hands each runner gets here. Let's hope it all works out.
Dayphid. Oh my goodness, no hands for Dayphid. Huge advantage if he can get through.
Oh man, that's going to be really difficult for Ben to catch up here.
Yeah, he's got to have no hands, because if he doesn't, it's going to take a big mistake from Dayphid for Ben to catch up. Let's see what happens. Oh, and he gets the first one right out of the box. The Hammer Brother party mix. And Ben does lose his tail.
Let's hope that Dayphid doesn't die on this Air Force. That could be very costly.
Yeah, because if he were to take a death, he'd go all the way back to the beginning of the map, and he'd have to go through those hands again and hope for RNG to cooperate. And Ben, a second hand. The RNG just destroying Ben's hopes. No.
Hopefully we don't get 3 hands again. Ben did get, like we said earlier, Ben did get 3 hands in his most recent PB. So
Dayphid gets the fire kill. So he's going to take a commanding lead on Ben. And he gets all 3 hands. Man.
Wow.
Just brutal.
I thought I was unlucky with the hands.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Lucky that is. Wow, he gets saved by the Cheep.
Oh my goodness gracious. Ben does get through the final hand stage. Dayphid still has that fire suit intact here in 8-1. Come on, stick the dismount. He does. Dayphid gets through. Does get the fireworks, though.
Fair for Dayphid. Yeah, going to lose him some time. A little bit of a time save for Ben to catch up on. Let's just hope he doesn't get a flower.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's got 2 flowers. Yeah, 3 flowers would give him 3 1-ups as opposed to the 5 1-ups you get for 3 stars. Generally, of course, runners want to avoid getting 3 of a kind so that they can skip out on the fireworks animation.
Nice job on Dayphid for getting up on the hill to shoot all 3 of those plants out of the way and avoiding the sun. He's now going to enter the fortress of World 8.
Yeah, taking the quicksand of shame, yes, it is slower, but on the bright side, you do despawn the angry sun. But Dayphid had no problem there with 8-2. Uses a star at the start of the fortress here in World 8. So we can get through those disco waffles.
See if Dayphid can make this P-switch cycle in one go. There's about 10 seconds if you can do that.
Yeah, it's tough to do. Let's see if Dayphid can get it. He does. Very good.
Very nice.
Ben here in 8-1 with his raccoon tail intact. Fire kill for Dayphid. So now he's just got 2 more stages left to go. He's got the super tanks and then Bowser's Castle. Look at this. Ben gets fireworks too.
Ben getting the fireworks there. Not easy to get the flower, but he did it.
I personally thought it was the hardest to get 3 mushrooms in a row, but That's because I kind of had a technique of how to get flowers. So, yeah, both of our runners treating us to fireworks tonight. How about that?
Yeah, to celebrate a really good match.
I see what David is doing. He is scrolling as far to the right as possible. And with that fire suit, he can just blaze down those rocky wrenches. Ben, no problem getting through 8-2, and just like David, also uses the star to start up the World 8 Fort, and he's having troubles grabbing that power-up, so he's going to have to slow down a little bit on those disco waffles. Tell you what, David's had a pretty clean Super Mario Brothers 3 at this point. Takes down Boom Boom, no problem. He is absolutely flying through the end part of this game, and he is poised to take the victory.
He's got a very big lead now over Ben. Looking like it might be in his favor, but Bowser's Castle is very tricky, and he could mess something up.
David tried to do the clip one time, didn't get it.
Ooh, almost got
very
hit there.
nice. Does get the everyman's clip. We'll take the top route, of course. All right, so here we go. Here's Bowser. 35 hits from the fireballs. We'll take him down. Let's see if David can finish him off.
It looks like he
Wow,
got him.
that was a phenomenal Mario 3 run there by David.
Yeah, very, very good. 0 hands, and it looks like Dayphid is going to take the win in this. This is a Group B match, by the way. So Dayphid is going to win over Ben42. Great job by Dayphid. And yeah, we're gonna see Ben finish off here.
Yeah, that was a very important win there by David because he lost his opening match against Roy LT. So that's going to even up his Group B record at 1-1.
Yeah, losing 2 races in your group stage doesn't put you in a good position if you want to advance to the bracket stage.
Yeah, that's correct, because all 4 of the runners in each group will face each other once, and it's the top 2 records that move on. They face each other once, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, going 0-2 would have been very difficult to come back from for David had he lost this match. Ben, this was only his first match, so he definitely has some time to get back into the rankings here for sure.
So Ben making his way through Bowser's Castle. About to finish up here with a strong run. Going to be a sub 41, it looks like.
Gets the everyman clip also. All right, Ben getting through the final gauntlet here. So let's see how he does against Bowser.
See, I'll mark them. I'll mark the players done right now, since they're just about done, and we'll see if they want to come in for an interview. Ben getting hit there by Bowser.
Yep, he did. Now he's going to employ the same strategy that you would see in the NES version, is that Bowser's hitbox is only his head. That's why you see Ben crouching down like that and not taking damage. But Ben now goes to Small Mario. It probably didn't really matter, because if he didn't move, he would have been hit by the fireball anyway. But yeah, more or less in the end, it came down to hand luck, and David had perfect RNG, whereas Ben had the worst RNG possible, and that pretty much sealed his fate. But GG to Ben, does take down Bowser.
Great job.
Yeah, give it up for both runners.
A 41-21 from Ben. Great job.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what David's split was on Super Mario 3, because that was a phenomenal run of that game. I mean, he played it really well. He had perfect RNG. I mean, he couldn't have played much better than he did. And we do have our winner, David, here in the commentator's booth with us. GG, well played race. I'll tell you what, it was pretty much a roller coaster in the first 3 games, but you absolutely just killed it in Super Mario Bros. 3. Not only did you play very well, RNG was on your side. You had no hands, and unfortunately for your opponent, had the maximum 3 hands.
Oh, man. Yeah, sorry if there's a... Hold on, let me cut my stream really quick so there's not that delay going. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was crazy. That first game, that first 2 games, I guess the first game was just brutal. We had that restart and I felt really bad, and then I played even worse in the restart. So then I felt like kind of relieved that I played really bad, because I didn't want him to lose a race because of like a technicality or like a restart or something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, you never like to see it happen during a tournament race like this, but yeah, I mean, Ben led for about, I'd say, the first 3/4 of this race, but we're going to get Ben in here in just a moment.
It looks like you got 0 hands and Ben got 3 hands, so yeah, looks like RNG was well in your favor there.
Yeah, it most certainly was. I mean, again, Ben had a pretty comfortable lead coming out of Super Mario Bros. 1. But then things started to change. The tide started to change as Ben took a couple of deaths right before the checkpoint in 5-1, and that enabled you to pretty much tie things up. Then Ben retook a good lead in Super Mario Bros. 2. I believe Birdo had a say a couple of times against you, David, so that set you back. And yeah, Ben had a really, really good Super Mario Bros. 2 run for sure. But then Super Mario Bros. 3 happened, and then the RNG just absolutely turned the tide in World 8. I mean, that's why we give World 8 the great equalizer name that it totally deserves, because it can flip a race, at any given moment.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm going to have to watch it back. I thought I was way behind. I had that terrible first game, and then I was just like, well, I'm just going to try to keep it together. And then once Mario 3 came along, my nerves had kind of settled, and I just started feeling like I was playing better. And then I just got crazy lucky, at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ben had the lead for, I'd say, the first 3/4 of this race. I mean, Ben had a great lead coming out of Super Mario Bros. 1 because David... It was kind of a rough go for you in 8-3. You took a couple of deaths there.
Oh my God.
But I'll tell you
so
what,
bad.
The 3rd time you had an amazing, and it happened to you twice throughout the run. You got through a couple of hammers twice when you jumped through Hammer Brothers. I believe it happened in 8-3, and then again in Super Mario Lost Levels. I forgot what stage it was on, but it was
8-1.
Quite insane. 8-1? Yeah, it was quite insane. You getting through a couple of hammers like that. Which, I mean, obviously, if you mistime those, I mean, Ben could have had a massive lead coming out of both of those games. Ben, you looked like you were cruising until you got to 5-1 in Lost Levels. Unfortunately, you had a couple of costly deaths there.
Yeah, 5-1. I took 2 deaths at the same place. It's kind of easy to take them, but I should have just played it safe for the 2nd time. SMB2 was very disappointing. Very disappointing. I was playing the percentages I knew out ahead, and I don't know what happened in the fight. It was really bad.
Yeah, that was one thing that kind of was a bit of a downer, because I mean, otherwise your Mario 2 run was relatively solid up until the final fight against Wart, and you had missed a few shots there. So David,
yeah,
caught gained a little ground on you, but you were still in the lead going into Super Mario Brothers 3, but that's when the wheels just came off.
By 1-2, I was just in disbelief. I was very, very disappointed. I was just very disappointed. I normally don't get the power up in 1-2, and changing that up messed me. And SMB3 wasn't actually that bad overall, weirdly. The hands, like, it's just incredible. But
yeah, I think
even without the hands, it probably would have been about a 30-second victory at that point. So I was a little bit shaken after the first race. I was like, well, I'm not going to have a 2-minute lead again, plus 2-minute plus lead. But I managed to have about a minute lead this time. It was, my run was 6 minutes off its best. It was terrible. It was really, really rubbish. So I'm disappointed.
How was your SMB1, Ben?
he played pretty well overall.
It was good. It was like 5:18 or something. It was fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, I was like 7 something on my split, like 7:08 or something like that.
Well, I think it was like 5:22 anyway.
It was so. I actually felt kind of relieved it was so bad because you had that good lead like in the first game and we had the restart, you know. So like, I think that took a big weight off my chest. Like if I would have smashed that game, I would have felt so bad because I had that terrible start.
I would have been a lot more disappointed if it was the same margin, but you know, like 36-37. I should never get a 42, so it's GG.
You both played very well overall.
Thanks.
Yeah, I played safe like the whole way, and it paid off until it didn't.
I will say one thing: we got the rare fireworks treat from both of you, but you managed to you both managed to get different sets of fireworks. David got the stars, and Ben got the flowers. So that was pretty interesting.
You deserve the 5-0. Congrats.
I don't know why I got a star there. I turned back. I don't know what happened, but I almost threw my controller because I was expecting him to like click finish all of my Mario 3. I was like, he has to be so far ahead of me. Like anytime now, I was expecting the finish. And I was asking my chat, like in my stream, I was like, am I still in this race? Like what's going on? I didn't have it up.
I mean, that was the thing. Even after I knew I got 3 hands, I was like, if I can just not make mistakes, the fact that you're worrying about that and you weren't watching, it could either crush you or it could, you know, mean no pressure at all. And my SMB3 post 1-2 was, at least for me, no mistakes, at least for the bits I played safe.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I think I would have PB'd it if I didn't get that star. I may still have PB'd. It was a gold split on my split.
Congrats.
I don't know if
you held it together well.
Yeah, that was David. That was pretty much your only blemish in the entire Super Mario Bros. 3 run was those fireworks. I mean, otherwise you were pretty much lights out. You were in the zone in that last game.
Awesome.
I just want to mention I was very, very tempted to jump down the hole at the end.
I saw that. I saw you standing by it during the fanfare, and I thought you were going to follow him down.
It was, I don't know. But it's been a great tournament. Thank you, SpeedGaming. Thank you, Rupert. Thank you, everybody, and the commentators, and the viewers. And David, you've got to
2 more races left.
Take it to ZZZ, and you've got to say, no, we've got a group to sort out. At least that's my hope.
Yeah, I mean, I know that ZZ's that's a mountain of a race, but I'll see if I can practice the Mario 1.
Everyone.
All right, take care, everybody. It's been fun.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Make sure to go follow the runners, Dayphid and Ben42. Great performance by both of those runners, and I guess that wraps up this All-Star Tournament match. Anything more to say, LOZ?
Absolutely, Tyler. It was great work with you, Marzo2, the very first Super Mario Brothers All-Stars commentary. But I'll tell you what, if you enjoyed tonight's race, we have another one lined up tomorrow. We don't know exactly what channel it's going to be on, but it's going to be a lot of fun. GTA 99 versus Jared Gamer 40, and that is going to be a Group C matchup. So look forward to that one.
Very exciting. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, for the support with the runners, and yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to tune in for the next match tomorrow. So yeah, have a good day, guys.
Hello, Z Cards fan 23, Marzo2 signing off. Have a great night. We will see you again next time.